welcome to my channel, everybody. My name is Chrissy, and today I'll be giving you a prediction reading for the 2nd of August. Now, if you are new, I talk a lot about the current global energies as well as the Great Awakening process. That was Penny just then. She's having a sleep, my little dog I'm looking after. So stay watching. I also do a bonus little prediction reading at the end for a specific country or region. So I'll just close my eyes and we'll see what that's going to be today. It's going to be for the Netherlands today. That's going to be the topic at the end of this video is for the Netherlands. So anyone in that region or around that region, it's for the Netherlands. So I'll just close my eyes. We'll get started and we'll see what comes up globally. It's showing me these global leaders and the people that are trying to roll out their agenda and run the show. They're having a lot of conflict. There's a lot of conflict now about this decision-making process. Now, I talked the other day about them and all their egos. Can you imagine all these elite leaders and people in power and all their egos trying to compete because they always want to be the standout god? An example is we know Trudeau likes to be the teacher's pet. He loves to suck up to Klaus Schwab and be the teacher's pet. So there's now this like conflict of it's like almost a race, like who's going to put this out first, who's going to be the first one to be rewarded with the great renewables because they've done the best job. And there's this competition now sort of lurking amongst these elites and global leaders now where they're getting like a bit feisty and they're comparing each other to each other and what they're rolling out. So there's definitely a lot of this sort of conflict in the rollout moving forward. They're all wanting to do sort of different things at different times. But of course, we know the main agenda is to sort of do this all together. But when you've got conflict at that level, it creates a lot of confusion further down to the people. So this is now causing a lot of confusion to the people down here because people are getting snippets. If you think of the people waking up, even us on my channel, we're only getting snippets of information. So we're getting something about the Dutch farmers, but then we might be hearing something about in America. But then in Australia, there's something about there's going to be a shortage of gas supplies. So we've got like all this confusion happening globally. There's no just one sort of set of rules fits all. So they're trying to roll this agenda out. We know they are, but everyone's doing it like at different times. So it's causing like this bit of chaotic energy amongst these elites and these leaders. So I keep saying they're going to have to regroup and like regather to keep the path smooth, because at the moment they're showing me a lot of conflict with these leaders and that everything's a little disjointed. It's not happening properly in the order that it should, because otherwise people will see. So for example, the Netherlands farmers dumping everything and fighting against the gases issue, you know, people here in Australia are seeing that. So farmers are now starting to wake up. Oh, hang on, what's going on here? Someone shared this on their Facebook feed the other day. What's this about? They're coming after the farmers. So this is an example I'm using of what's happening because it's all coming out at different stages. See, it hasn't been a smooth journey for them either, and I talk about that, about this is a trial for these government and parliamentary leaders and these people in power. This is a trial for them too, how far they can push the people. Will the people push back? We know they push back, we've all done it. So that's what I'm getting. There's a lot of this conflict and confusion at the top. That's great. We need them to be confused so it doesn't just all go to plan. So this is all trial and error for them as well. We have to remember that. Remember, they haven't done this before either on such a large scale. I have to give them 10 points though for the mass psychosis. That was just unbelievable how they just got people in that mass psychosis, and I hate to say it, but they've kept them there. That is still there about the jab. Not everything else. I honestly don't believe people are falling for everything else, but that jab, it's a very strong narrative that people are very stuck in. Gosh, I went, for example, the other day, I've got a wedding to go to soon, and my husband and I are flying up to Queensland, which is another state, and my mum lives there, and we thought, well, we'll just stay with her and keep her company. She's old. She's like 86. And my sister sent me a text and said, oh, do you think have you looked at the motels in the city? And I was like, in Brisbane. And I'm like, what? And she goes, oh, Mum doesn't want you staying at the house because you're both unvaccinated. I couldn't even believe it. I could not believe my 86-year-old mother doesn't even want to see us because she's so scared. This is what they've done to people. They have played with people's minds. Like, what even is that? Wouldn't you want to see your family? We haven't seen her for years and years because we were all locked out of each other's states, and now she still doesn't want to see us. That's brainwashing. That's what that is. Oh, I was so infuriated. I couldn't even believe it was happening. But anyway, that's my experience. I'm sure you guys have been having that too. So basically, my mother doesn't want us in the house because we're unjabbed. That's good trust in your vaccines, isn't it? She's had 4 jabs. Oh, 5 actually. She's had 2 jabs, 2 boosters, and the flu jab, and still won't have us in the house. So where's their confidence? You know, this is just insanity, isn't it? Anyway, sorry guys, I had to air that because it's just the most frustrating. That mass psychosis has just really affected all our lives, hasn't it? I know a lot of you on this channel it has. I'll see where else we go today. People are becoming wiser. These people waking up are becoming wiser, and they're going to make a stance. It's not going to be far away. And this is global. People are going to have to take action, or they're going to end up living on the streets and living in tents. Now, I guess we're all probably shocked that people haven't already started standing up, because we did our fight. We did it back in the beginning. So we're going to stand back, and we're not going to get involved in the shit show that's about to go down. But people are going to start to hit rock bottom, and it's not going to be very far away. September, October, maybe, you're going to start to hear about a lot more homelessness, people living in their cars, people living in tents. People just can't meet repayments, so there's going to be more of this kind of debt collection going on. Things are going to turn ugly, and we know that's what government wants. They need things to turn ugly so people fail, hit rock bottom, and then government, of course, comes in and takes the lead and takes control of everything. We know how this goes. Not you, if you're watching my video, because we're prepared. We saw these things coming, so we had more opportunity to sort of get our head around different aspects and areas of our life. I know a lot of you guys are preserving things and pickling things, and we're just living a whole different life to the one we were living pre-pandemic. But I'm definitely getting that people are becoming wiser. They're starting to see something's not right. They're starting to question, has this been a planned out agenda? Why are we going from one thing to this thing, to that thing, to this thing? And it's just one thing after another. They are becoming wiser that government will not leave them alone. Now they're talking about gas. Then they're talking about renewables. Then they're talking about electric cars. This is just, now it's the farms. Farms are getting attacked. Why are there no vegetables anymore? The shelves are bare. Why don't they want us eating meat? Questions, 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 questions. And this is why people are becoming wiser to the truth, because it's getting really obvious. How can it not? So people are going to, not just yet, I feel we've got a little way to go, but when people get pushed into a corner, they'll fight back. And that's when they'll fight back. They won't just sit down and like sob, you know, with tears in the corner and take it. That's when people will rise up, when they feel like they've got nothing else to lose. So that could be, I feel, another month or so away. I feel like October, because then people will start to get that panic too with Christmas coming up. Then people aren't going to be able to afford to go on a Christmas holiday and all this wonderful stuff. Oh, we might on Terrabella. We have very basic fun holidays out in the backyard, don't we? But these people who are waking up, no, holidays will be gone. All those fun activities and things we used to do, dining, wining and dining and having fun, all that's going to become obsolete. And that's going to start to happen around October. I feel like this is going to build in September, and then October is going to be this period where people will start to stand up. And that frequency, I feel, is going to become high, like, not high in a good way, high pitched, like to the point that government won't want to listen to it anymore because it'll be hurting their ears, because so many people will be standing up. So they'll want it to go away. No, 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 no. You know, when people cover their ears and they don't want to hear anything, well, that'll be government, because this will be so high-pitched they won't be able to ignore the sound of these people in a maddened state. I'll just see where else we go with this today. And we're like fighting this good fight over here. Like they're saying to me, if you're watching my channel, we're over here and we're fighting the good fight. So we're fighting this fight now with thoughts, with energy. We're removing ourselves from all this uncomfortable, just, I don't even what you would call it, surreal. It's like surreal play that we're watching over here. It does not even feel real to us anymore. It feels like we're so far removed from that. We're fighting the good fight over here now. And when they say the good fight, we're fighting for our own freedom and our own life. And we're working towards that. In fact, they're saying like it's not really that it's a fight anymore. They're saying it's like, they're showing me like it's like one of those thumb fights. It's so little that we can have like a, you know, those little thumb fights. Nobody gets hurt. You just go, oh, a thumb fight. I think that's what you call it. And then somebody wins. So our fights are very, very small. Our fights are just for the things that we want, the things that we need. Our freedom, we keep pursuing those kind of things. We're setting goals. We're achieving goals. And that's what I'm getting. We're fighting that good fight now. We just are. It's all making sense to us what we need to do moving forward. Because none of this surreal play over here that we're watching is of any value to us. It's not of any value to us. It's interesting to observe, for sure, these people waking up and what's currently going on, and what's being dished out by government. But it's not important to us anymore. It's just not important. Even like with my mother, I turned my back because that's her stuff to deal with. If she doesn't want to see her family, there's nothing I can do about it. So I have to go away again and reconfigure things. So now we're staying in a nice motel and all this sort of thing. But it does, I know it triggers things in people. We've all been through this where you think, oh, is everybody still thinking that way? Are people still viewing people that way? And it does create a lot of those question marks again, but that's why it's so important. And these are always little tests for us, not only me, but for all you guys on my channel too. I know you're still having dramas with family and friends, no matter what your situation. If you lost your job, your business went under, we all go through different experiences, but it's how we're dealing with them and tackling them and how we're going to face them moving forward. So that was my big hurdle for the week. You might have had other ones. Please, you know, tell me down below what you guys are going through, because it's just so hard to understand some of this sometimes, isn't it? And the way that other people think. I'll just see if there's anything else today. Yeah, I'm getting it. There's a lot of backpedaling from government. They know they can't push too hard at the moment because people are panicking. So they're going to take a little back step a little bit. And now, I don't know if you've noticed, but there seems to be a lot of this blame game going on with these governments. They're kind of blaming the Reserve Bank. And here in Australia, they're actually even talking about sacking the Reserve Bank head, the honcho, because he was telling people that interest rates wouldn't go up till 2024, and he's given people this false hope that they could go out and buy houses, and now obviously people did, and now they're completely screwed because we've had like 3 or 4 in the last couple of months. And that was all a big lie, as we knew. It was all a big lie. We all knew it was coming. But other people didn't know it was coming. If they weren't on my channel or talking to any of us, they didn't know it was coming. So now they're trapped in these high rising interest rates. So now, of course, government's going to blame the RBA, whereas he was probably dictated to from above. We know how the puppet masters work. They deliver the messages and then they use all the scapegoats. This happens all the time. So that's what's currently going on. Government's like blaming everybody else, of course, except themselves, because they need the spotlight put on other areas so it's not put on them. And this is where we're at. We've got government just looking like the innocent party, and parliamentary leaders are all innocent. Look at Trudeau. Oh yes, very innocent. Just stomping all over everybody. So that's where we're at. It's just the injustice. It's just so wrong, isn't it? We have got to find that really good internal strength now. We've got to keep our tap turned on. So they're saying to me, we've got to turn our tap on to keep our really good flow in our life. So our pipes and things don't get clogged. And this could be around our throat, but speaking our truth, not cramping up and contracting with fear or anxiety or worry. See, I could have got very upset, for example, about that experience with my mother. But I've chosen just to let that go and move on from her. If she doesn't want that, that's fine. I have to stay true to myself and really open and remain, what's the word? Just remain, continue probably to keep healing, because this is a healing process. See, maybe my mother, for example, has things that she has to heal from her past, which would probably be a lot, I am guessing. So we've all got this different journey where we wake up at different times. Some people never wake up. We know that here. It's just exhausting to even think about sometimes, this whole thing. It's just been, oh my God. I'll see if there's anything to close with there today. Just be strong, be brave, and keep fighting that good fight. The good fight is about us having that simple life and moving forward, moving forward, moving forward. Not staying stuck in the past. Don't go back there is a message I'm getting for you watching my channel today. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Netherlands, and we'll just actually see if there's anything that comes up for the Netherlands today. I get that the Netherlands are like creatures of habit. You really like familiarity. You like things the same. You like the status quo. You don't like giving things up to the rich ones. That can be very frustrating over there. The land grabs that they're grabbing for are enormous. People aren't even seeing the enormity of the land grabs. This goes far and wide in the Netherlands. It's not like you're just going to put out a little fishing net and grab a couple of farms. This net is like 200 nets sewn together like fishing nets, and just they're taking like all these paddocks. This fight in the Netherlands is big. It's bigger than people even realise. And we know that. They only show you a portion. The narrative is it's not giving away like any clues as to what's really going on either. Like, we sort of have a basic inkling, but there's a lot more to this story than meets the eye in the Netherlands. The farmers' movement's actually growing. It's getting bigger. It's actually getting the people behind it now. I feel like there's a lot of people like rejoicing that the farmers have stood up. It's like, oh, thank God somebody stood up. It's like people didn't have the guts to stand up, but now they have the guts to stand up behind the farmers. So I'm definitely getting that for just a lot of the little people, that they're trying to support the farmers to take this forward in a better direction, because I think a lot of them over there in Netherlands can see where this is heading, and it's going to turn their world upside down if they keep going down that path. God, for some reason they're showing me this window scene, and it's got these beautiful red little gingham curtains, which is a small check curtain, and it's showing me this absolutely gorgeous landscape. You must have beautiful landscapes in the Netherlands. It's green, it's lush, there's blue sky, there's a few little fluffy clouds. It's very picturesque. I'm definitely getting that for you, and people don't want to lose sight of that. They don't want to lose the landscape. They know that with some of these things that are trying to be implemented and controlled, that it could take away the beauty. And I don't just mean in the beauty of the landscape in the Netherlands. I mean the beauty, meaning the core values of the people as well. That's what I'm definitely getting for the Netherlands. People don't want those core values taken from them. And that's why there's such a big fight back and big pushback in the Netherlands. Because it's like the people in the Netherlands were taken by surprise and it frightened them. The people in the Netherlands got a fright the way government just kind of came in and started dictating and trying to implement what appears to be like rubbish and doesn't make logical sense. So that's what I'm definitely getting for the Netherlands. They want to rise up and really challenge this. I'll see if there's anything else to close with that today. Those farmers are tough. They make them tough. They're a tough breed, the farmers over in the Netherlands. They don't stand down. It shows me they're like these really stocky little farmers that are like so solid. You know when you get really stocky men that are broad-shouldered and really strong and stocky, and they're not going to back down. They're not going to give in. It's almost like they're linking arms and they're making a real stance and they're not going to be swayed. That's what I'm getting for Netherlands today. So I'll see if there's any closing messages for everybody globally. Just let me see. Gosh, I'm getting visuals of us opening the newspaper, and for some reason I'm getting this visual of nasturtiums. They've got a very unusual smelling flower, nasturtiums, haven't they? They don't really grow where I am in the cold. I think they're more of a summer sort of flower, but I am getting that. It's like this new growth, new plant life, but it's like we're reading it in the paper. There's some significance to the nasturtium. And it could also be, now that's interesting, isn't it? They're saying nasturtiums have a very unusual odour, and it's relating it to the metal odour in the CV virus for some reason. Whether there's some sort of link to that, I'm not sure, or some sort of connection that reminds people of that. But there's some sort of similarity or some connection to this nasturtium. Maybe you can tell me down below if any of you guys know the connection there, but I'm definitely getting it's this odor and this metal smell. It's almost got like a tinfoil smell to it, a nasturtium. It's an unusual odor. It's not like a sweet flower. It's got a more, it's saying like mechanical kind of smell. But I am getting that there's some sort of connection, perhaps with the CV virus, or just that smell. It reminds people of nasturtiums. It's a strange one, isn't it? But I am getting that very strongly today. It's like we're open the paper, but on the front page it's got this photo of a nasturtium flower, which is very interesting. Hang on a minute. And it's saying they grow very actively. They can spread quite rapidly if they're not controlled, which is interesting, isn't it? So they're kind of comparing that to the CV virus. If it's not controlled, it can spread very rapidly. Interesting. I wonder. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with that today. And I will say goodbye from Australia. Take care. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. And I will say goodbye from Australia. Have a wonderful afternoon. Bye, everybody. Bye.